Hello everybody, it's Bugsy here. Not really doing Saturday afternoon because it's gonna be moved to Sunday because All Hallows Eve is tomorrow, my children. And on that note, it will soon be upon us all. But by that definition, I decided to hold off on my Halloween fun until tomorrow. So, while I'm sitting here, hold up. Got a lot of gas in me. So I rewatched Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated, and honestly, I got one question: why hasn't any of you freaking reviewers out there, reviewed this? I'm looking at you, Pan. I'm looking at you. Jesus, it's actually pretty good. Like seriously, it's dark. It's awesome. I didn't really like Velma and Shaggy getting together because, I mean, they made her into a lesbian anyway, and don't tell me that they didn't. They totally did. Because Shaggy did it to her. Shaggy did it. It's like how it reminds me of the Clark's cartoon where Randall was going to freaking get with this one chick, and they were gonna do it, but then Randall was playing this game, and she just automatically turned gay. So it was a little bit more of a process, just Shaggy constantly fucking up and choosing Scooby over her, and I'm like, I'm just saying if it was written if it was written a little better, maybe I would actually be cool with it. But as it stands, I really just kind of hated it because it's like, okay, we get it. You love Shaggy, but do you understand? He also loves Scooby too. That's his dog, man. That's his dog, Velma. But like, it's like they never could like balance like the fact that Scooby and Velma are just two of his, people in his life, and they could have just went there, but no, they had to make Velma completely dick hungry. And don't you guys tell me that that ain't what it was. She was horny for Shaggy, man. She was horny for Shaggy. When it actually finally came to a head, and she doesn't feel the same way for Shaggy anymore, I was like, oh, thank God, we get to have regular old Velma back. But I did kind of hate how she broke up with Shaggy and she just kept on digging into him. It just kind of, it really did kind of piss me off because, like, Velma, you're supposed to be the smart, rational one, and you're just acting like a fucking hormone crazed teen. Not saying me and Bugsy didn't like, you know, horny Velma, but it just didn't work. And I'm just glad that basically it went back to status quo by the time season 2 hit. But yeah, like Scooby at the end of season 1, at the beginning of season 2, Scooby had balls, man. They freaking took Scooby to like a freaking pound, and took Shaggy to freaking military school because of the thing the thing that happened with the freak from Crystal Cove, which actually really made me mad because it's like like, the reason that they solve mysteries is so you all can be safe, right? And when Private Clown came, they're like, "Oh my God, we need you, Mystery Inc. It'll suck you dick." I'm just like, well, I didn't say we'll suck your dick, but it's funny because they just really, they were all of them were all for sending them all away, but now they need them. But I like Scooby because he like through the second season, he had a little bit more balls than normal, and it just was awesome. I kind of hated, I liked a lot of elements, but I'm telling you, the Shaggy and Velma relationship, it didn't feel genuine really. It didn't feel genuine to me. And when characters died, they stayed dead. They stayed dead. I was like, this is always, and which was always pretty cool to me because Scooby would always venture in the realm of like we can't have characters die. But they did it, and I really thank them for it because it made it a lot more serious. And even when they were solving other mysteries, the main mystery would be like the Crystal Cove treasure and all the other stuff. So even when they would be doing other mysteries, after that they'd go back to the main mystery. And I enjoyed that. I just wish a lot of people would have given this freaking show a shot. It's not a bad show. And just because it's a Scooby Doo show doesn't mean it's horrible. The straight to DVD movies, on the other hand, have been getting good to bad to just fucking why. You know? But Mystery Incorporated I really enjoyed. And even at the end where they freaking reset their timeline, and it was just so cool. So yeah. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Okay. Like, I kind of like how most of the other Scooby Doo shows are canon. Most notably, Scooby Doo, Where Are You? And I think a little bit of, I would say either 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo because they do mention Flim Flam, and when they again like that scene at the museum I talked about way back last year I think, which was when they looked at Scrappy and was like, we swore we'd never talk about it again, which kind of reminds me, which either says, the people still in charge still hated Scrappy Doo, or maybe, like, bits and pieces of the first movie of Scooby Doo is kind of canon too. Either way, I never really hated Scrappy. A lot of people did, but I never did. Like, I can never say that I truly hated Scrappy because he was kind of good. He was good. But yeah, certain Scooby Doo stuff is canon. Even a pup named Scooby Doo, because they do actually show a clip of kind of them in the past, kind of from a pup named Scooby Doo, but done in the art style of Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated. And what's funny is when they were trying to find out who was like there was this one episode where they were trying to find out, like, Velma found out the obvious villain. I'm like, and Fred's like, Velma, you can't just say he's an obvious villain because he just is. And I'm like, if a pup named Scooby Doo is canon with this, Fred, you the last one to be talking, because every fucking episode of a pup named Scooby Doo, you'd be like, it's red herring, it's red herring, it's red herring, it's red herring. I'd be like, friend, you got something you really want to tell us, man? Because why you always assuming it's red herring? I think you got something going on there, Fred. You need help. But Fred's got more of a personality. Shaggy has more of a personality. Scooby has more of a personality. Velma's kind of the same, but still has a little bit more into him. And it really goes into why why they team up together and a whole bunch of other stuff, and it's pretty awesome. You know, I really feel like I didn't really say much because they're like, um because Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated is like a ride and like a process. You guys need to just sit back and watch. The only thing I really hated was the fact of the matter was that when it was originally airing the second season, it would play so early in the morning you couldn't even watch it because by that time I was still in school, and thank God I had a DVR, but you know I was in I'd be going to school and be like, oh, seriously, you're gonna play it this late, this early, so I can't even see it? Not on Friday where people can actually sit, actually probably get up and watch it, or Saturday afternoon so people can sit and watch it. No, 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 no. We're not gonna do that. That's my real complaint with Cartoon Network as a whole. When something doesn't do well and they are and they're gonna write it out, we don't even get to see the last few episodes unless you have a DVR. Okay, with that being said, I enjoy Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated, and I feel it's a must for Scooby Doo fans that want to see something a little bit darker. I think it works. Also, if you want to get real dark, watch the Project Scooby Blair Witch parody. And that shit will kind of fuck you up. But since I got a little bit more time, I want to actually talk about. I just want to talk about one thing: Crash in Skylanders Academy. Now, why you're like, Bugsy? Why are you talking about that? I want to talk about that simply because Skylanders Academy is like a little new Netflix show, but it has, there's one episode where they actually had Crash in it, and I liked it. And Crash was talking, and normally Crash talking for me is kind of a state of, I'm kind of in a state of apprehension because Crash doesn't talk. But I kind of enjoyed this, mostly because they got someone that actually sounds, well, what Crash to me would always sound like. So it kind of fits the old voice of what Crash actually kind of sounds like. And I like that. I like how Crash kind of sounds kind of Australian because that's the point. I didn't like that freaking promo version of Crash's voice. The guy blew in from the ruins of it. Boy, my arm's tired. I really hated that Crash voice. But this one was pretty cool. And the only thing I would really want, like, Crash has his little music cue from the first Crash game, but I really wanted, like, the music from Crash Warp to make an appearance. That doom 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 that stuff. But then again, I love two and three better than I love one. I do kind of love one, but I love 2 and 3 better than 1. But a lot of people are, up in arms about Crash and his voice, and I'm like, guys, it's still Crash at the end of the day, and like, they had to make him talk. They can't just make him into a mute like they would back in the old days. Now, one dude was trying to be really harsh to you Crash fans, and I'm not going to be really overly harsh to you guys, but you all need to... Hold up. You guys need to understand that Crash has to talk in this show because they can't have him mute. I mean, it'd be cool if they had Aku Aku, but no, he has to actually talk in this. And I kind of like this voice. I mean, I know you guys, we're used to Crash not talking and being silent, but I actually kind of enjoy this one. It's better than the bang. It's better than the pancakes voice that we got. Because he actually sounds, you know, he's a Bandicoot, and Bandicoots are from Australia, and he actually sounds Australian without having it be kind of a caricature, a caricature, a caricature, a caricature of freaking Australian voice, like that freaking demo voice for Crash as a promo. It would have been nice to see the Skylanders kind of fight Dr. Cortex in one of his like mini machines, but it was cool. And he came straight out of Crash 1. I was like, yay! I don't care what anybody says, but I enjoyed it. I'm not mad. I'm not angry. I'm not anything. This was an enjoy. I don't even watch Skylanders that much because of what they did to Spyro. I kind of only buy the games because only thing I can play that has Spyro in it. And I do have some of the others. Me and my bro do have some of the other Skylanders. But yeah, it's pretty much it. But again, guys, it's just Crash in that show. They're not gonna have him talk. If they do, I ain't really gonna be mad. If they get that voice again, I ain't gonna be mad. You guys can be mad if you want, but I'm actually gonna enjoy it. I would actually enjoy it if Crash could talk again in one of the games. I know it would never happen because we're so used to him being silent, but I kinda liked it. And Crash's design in Imagineers, though, I never really talked about it that much. But it's a good design. It kind of reminds me of his older design. Not that Mind Over Mutant stuff, because it was kind of cool, but I kind of like the old design a little bit better. Call me old-fashioned, but I enjoyed it. And a lot of people are like, no, Crash and being freaking Skylanders. No, Crash, no. But they treat Crash with a lot of respect. And even if you get him, he actually has his own, little level. And I love that. I love that about Crash. He has his own little level. He has his own little level, and they kind of show what the remaster will probably look like. I like that. And they actually even have fake. They have fake Crash too, and I think he's a villain in there too. And I'm like, yay, fake Crash! And if you want to know the story about fake Crash, he's basically like. People would make a bootleg of Crash, and his face, his eyebrows would be big, and he had big freaking goofy like teeth. And basically, bootleg Crash was like that, but they called him fake Crash, and he actually did make a few appearances in certain games. The one I remember is from the Game Boy game, which was the what was it called? It was called Crash Entropy. A game that I'm still playing, by the way. Because I love anything Crash. But it was enjoyable, I really think that this is good. Crash is good. And seriously, Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated gets a 5 out of 5. See you guys later, and don't trip about Crash too much. It's just a voice. See you guys later.